Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a story for you here today titled Caught My Fiance Lying About Her Past, So I Divorced Her. So, this is a woman who was going to become a wife, but unfortunately for her, her husband found out what she did in her past. Now, guys, usually in these situations, what these women do is they deliberately hide this stuff because they know that men are not going to commit to them otherwise, okay? If the man, the future husband, understands that the woman had an OF account previously, or she was a night worker, or she had a very sketchy past, this means that the woman is going to lose her chances at getting the diamond ring. So that's why these women refuse to tell these men. I think that men are perfectly within their rights to not want to marry a woman like this. So before we jump into today's story, guys, don't forget to go and check out my second channel. This is something I have been mentioning a lot on the intros of these videos. If you are interested in seeing some of the TikTok reaction videos that I used to do here on this channel, for the time being, I'm going to be posting them to a second channel, and I'm only going to be doing one a day since I dislike the women over there so damn much, and they make me have aneurysms every time I listen to them. So if that interests you, make sure you go and check out the link in the pinned comment to the second channel. So let's jump into this story here. It is a 33-year-old man. It says a 33-year-old man tells the story of how his engagement to a woman he thought he knew completely unraveled when he discovered that she had been lying about key parts of her past. Trust was broken, and with the respect gone, he called off the wedding and ultimately cut her out of his life. Again, I think this is completely fair for the man to do. A lot of people will say, oh, this is an overreaction. You're insecure. Why don't you get over it? Okay, which is, I'm dead serious when I say this, guys. This is the gaslighting that people put onto men. They say that it shouldn't matter, that, you know, putting your relationship above this should be a better decision. Okay, but it's absolutely not. If you marry women like this, if you take them seriously, you are going to regret it at some point or another. Men innately understand this, so they don't want to marry them. Makes sense to me. He says, we were only months away from the wedding. I'm a 33-year-old guy, and my ex-fiance is a 30-year-old female. We had been together for just under 3 years and got engaged about 7 months ago. Our wedding was scheduled for next spring. Everything seemed to be on track. We had all of this stuff booked, etc., etc. We had the usual couple of quirks. We had disagreements, time, you know, here and there, but nothing that ever made me question the foundation of our relationship. She was funny, she was smart, and she was calm. But what I didn't realize was that a good portion of who I thought she was had been built on a lie. Right, so let's see what exactly she was lying about in particular. It says, in the early stages of our relationship, we had the usual tell me about your past conversations. I was open about mine. Some relationships, a bit of heartbreak, but nothing crazy. When it came to her, she gave vague answers. She told me that she hadn't dated much, that she was focused on work through her 20s, and that she wasn't into the whole hookup culture thing. He says, cool, I respected it, but there were a few times where I'd ask for specifics, like her exes, college life, anything really, and she'd deflect with humor or just brush it off. He says, I didn't press it too hard. I figured maybe it was personal, or she just wasn't comfortable talking about it yet. Big mistake, right? So here's the thing, guys. Women on this, the reason why women say stuff like this, right? Oh, I wasn't into the whole hookup culture thing, or like this kind of response that she's giving, is because she knows this makes her sound good. Okay, if she sits here and she says, you know, I wasn't into the hookup culture, I was focused on work and etc., and that's how I got to 28 years of age and I hadn't had a serious relationship. Guys, please understand that the women are lying, especially the older they are. Okay, women don't miraculously get to, how old was this woman, like 28 or something? Ex-fiance was 30. I think they met, been together for just under 3 years. Okay, so he met her when she was 27, 28, something like that. Okay, women don't just miraculously get to 27, 28 years of age and not have a past, guys. They'll try and convince you of this, but the majority of the time, if not all of the time, it's completely untrue. The reason why they say this again is to appear, you know, as though their pasts are squeaky clean, so to speak. He says, one night we were having dinner with a couple of my friends and the topic turned to wild college stories. One of my friends joked about how every campus had that girl who was in every guy's phone for the wrong reasons. My fiance went quiet. My friend noticed and thinking that he was making a harmless joke, said her college name out loud, just part of the banter. My fiance snapped, told him not to say her college's name like that. Everyone got awkward, but the damage was done. And later that night, I couldn't shake the feeling, so I started digging. So I'm assuming he's going to go ahead and he's going to research the college and he's going to find out something very quickly. I don't really understand how this is going to fall into place. Maybe he's going to research the college and start contacting people from there. I'm not really sure. So let's take a look here. He says she had deactivated most of them, but there were versions of some old profiles that still existed online. It took maybe 15 minutes of Googling. What I found didn't match the person I was engaged to. There were photos, captions, and comments that painted a very different picture. Parties almost every weekend, flings, posts that made it very clear that she was deep in the scene that she once told me that she never liked. Okay, so this woman still had active profiles online of her with a very questionable past clearly on display. And the worst part, a guy that I actually knew, one of my own acquaintances, commented on one of the posts with an inside joke that clearly implied that they'd hooked up. So this woman has a digital footprint of being a 304. Okay, so this is the modern day equivalent, right? I suppose the modern day equivalent would be an old Instagram account that has a ton of spicy photos on it, would be the equivalent. Which again, guys, I think, if your woman wasn't honest about that, fantastic reason to discontinue the relationship, to be honest with you, right? So this woman has a very, very, very questionable digital footprint that clearly shows she was deep in the partying scene, deep in the hookup scenes, even hooked up with one of his acquaintances. Crazy stuff. She lied repeatedly. He said, I confronted her about it. I asked her again to tell me about her past, and she doubled down. Said that she didn't have much of one, that she wasn't quote-unquote like other girls, and had always valued real connection. Then I showed her the posts. She went pale, and then she got defensive, and then she started crying and saying, that was a different time. I was young. I didn't think it mattered anymore, but it wouldn't have if she had told the truth. So again, she knew that this was out there, and she refused to let her husband, a future husband, know, even though he was directly asking about it. He says it wasn't about the body count. It was about the partying. It was about the lie. It wasn't about the partying, sorry. It was about the lie. The deliberate shaping of a false identity, so I would view her as something that she wasn't. I told her I couldn't marry someone who couldn't be honest with me about something so basic. Trust is everything, and if you're willing to lie about how you used to be, who's to say you are not still lying? He says, I canceled the engagement, sent the ring back, told our families. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I think this is the correct move to make. And also, here's the real big question about these situations, okay? If your future wife or girlfriend or whatever is dishonest about that, what else is she lying about? What else is she not telling you? Right? I've seen stories, guys, of men who were going to marry night workers, scrippers, and not know, but then they find out. But the real question was like, okay, if she's not telling you about that, what else is she also not telling you about? But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.